Welcome to the Candle Business Coach Podcast, a show about the craft of candle making and small business. I'm your host, Kirsty Allen, and I'm a candle maker, mum of three, and kindness advocator. Join me as I dive into all things candles and small business and deliver advice and tips to you in episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Are you on the list to get my daily motivation emails? Every day I'll send you a message that is designed to help keep you focused on taking action toward your goals. Sign up using the link in the show notes. This episode is brought to you by my free ebook, The Candle Business Marketing Kickstarter Kit. Inside this free ebook, you'll learn to identify your blocks of time to dedicate to your candle business. Plus, there are several tips and tricks for re-engaging past customers and attracting new customers into your business so you can grow your business and reach your goals. Check out the link in the show notes for your copy. Welcome back to the podcast, my friend. I hope you've had a lovely week. And I know I say it every Tuesday episode, but I honestly do hope that you've had a lovely week and a beautiful weekend. In today's episode, I wanted just to give you a little bit of an update with what's happening with the podcast and just a bit of a life update for this week's episode as well. So if you've been playing along for a while, you'll know that I've been uploading episodes for this podcast every Tuesday and Friday since the podcast launched on the 1st of November 2022. So we are more than several months into our journey, and we're currently up to episode 72, which is today's episode. And I am absolutely loving the platform. I love the connections that I'm making with you, the listener, the candle makers, that tune in every week to hear my voice and to hear my wisdom and advice when it comes to candle making and growing your candle business. But I have to admit, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work to produce and create, record, edit, and upload and schedule the episodes every week, twice a week. So I've been toying with the idea of dropping to one episode a week rather than two. And I feel like I need to explain why I'm doing that, or at least give you a heads up that will be coming in the next couple of months. Because as I said, there's a lot of effort and a lot of time that goes into creating the podcast. And as much as I love creating the episodes and sitting here recording them and sharing my wisdom and knowledge with you, there's really only so much time in the day. And since launching the Candle Makers Collective, which is my monthly membership for candle makers, I'm finding that my time to dedicate to the podcast, as well as the membership, as well as, uploading content to Instagram and sending out emails and information to different candle makers and answering messages and doing all the things and wearing all the hats, it's just becoming a little bit too much. And I've thought about how I can best serve candle makers, and I feel like for me and the people that I'm serving and helping is within the membership, so within the Candle Makers Collective. So that said, I also have 3 young children. If I haven't mentioned that before, if you haven't heard me mention that in a previous episode, and living life and enjoying life is a huge priority as well. So I feel like it's come to a point where it's time to just pivot a little bit, certainly not give up on the podcast or stop it entirely. It's more just considering the type of content that I want to create for the podcast and share in each episode. I feel like I'll be able to provide better content that's more succinct and beneficial for you if it's delivered once a week rather than trying to do 2 episodes a week just because that's what I've always done. So I'll let you know more as we get closer to dropping to 1 episode each week. For now, though, at least for the next few weeks or so, we'll still continue with the 2 episodes. But I am curious, if you do listen to the podcast when each episode drops, whether it's listening to the Tuesday and Friday episode in one go at the end of the week or when you listen to it as each one comes out, I'd love to know if you will be impacted with me dropping to 1 episode a week, or if it really doesn't matter to you, which in that case, it's definitely the right decision for me as well. So in this episode, I wanted to also just give a bit of a life update as well. So, as I'm recording this episode, we're currently in the second week of school holidays. And that's another reason why I'm wanting to drop to one episode, is because I want to spend as much time as I can with my children when I'm with them, particularly when they're on school holidays. And so I know this episode isn't really going to help you transform and grow your candle business, but I do feel that I have, I guess, an obligation. That sounds like it's a burden, but I mean it in a good way. I do want to share with you what's happening with my life and where the podcast fits into that. So because it is school holidays and I do have my kids with me, it is a little bit more challenging to find the time to research each episode and produce and edit and upload and do all the things that the podcast requires. So this episode is just a little bit of an update as to what's happening, and I just felt the need to share that with you. Also, I wanted just to refresh the ways that you can work with me in a more formal basis rather than just being a listener of the podcast. If you're wanting to take our relationship to the next level, there are a few ways that we can work together. First and foremost, as I mentioned, the Candle Makers Collective, the monthly membership, is my absolute dream baby of a project, and I'm just so obsessed with it, and I love the members that are part of the membership so far, that are coming into the membership, being part of the Candle Makers Collective and really creating this beautiful community that we have both in our exclusive Facebook group but also in the members portal as well. We've had one Q&A coaching session so far. They are scheduled to occur fortnightly and they are recorded. So it doesn't matter when you come into the membership, you can always go back and watch and listen to the previous Q&A coaching sessions. I also have a free Facebook group for candle makers called the Candle Business Hub, or just Candle Business Hub. I will leave links to everything in the show notes if you're wanting to click through and check them out. I also have a free ebook that I offer. It's the Candle Business Marketing Kickstarter Kit. I've had this one for a little while, but it still has a lot of really relevant and helpful information for not only identifying those pockets of time of when you're able to work on and in your business, but also help you identify how to find new customers and how to keep customers coming back and continuing to purchase from you as well. Another way that I can support you on your journey, and this isn't just specifically for candle makers, but this is usually, the candle makers are usually the people that find me and then sign up for this, is my free daily motivational emails that I send out every morning at 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So I know I've got a few overseas listeners and subscribers on my email list that in the email it says good morning, and it's not necessarily morning for everyone that receives it, but I do feel it's a nice way to start the day. And then of course you can always follow me on Instagram as well at Candle Business Coach. So if you want to be a part of the Instagram world or the Facebook world or the Candle Makers Collective, there are lots of different ways that we can work together and help you grow and transform your candle business. And then, of course, we have the podcast as well. So I so appreciate you listening to, ramble. Today's episode's a bit of a ramble, but I appreciate that you listen and tune in each week to hear some advice and some guidance into how to grow your business. And I'd love to know what your thoughts are about me dropping to one episode a week. Also, if you wanted to share with me just via DM on Instagram at Candle Business Coach, any topics or anything that you'd like to know specifically for me to answer or to research and dive into in the podcast, or even if you just have some questions that you'd like me to answer along the way, I'd be more than happy to put together a listener segment episode where I can answer some commonly asked questions in regards to growing your candle business or candle making as well. So I think that's it for now. I hope this episode wasn't a waste of time for you. I hope that you enjoyed hearing me chat about what's going on with the podcast and just being real with you in that, things are busy in the lives of all of us, and it's about making the best possible choices with how we can spend our time. We're not always in a position to outsource different tasks, and I think it's important to be upfront when we need to pivot as well, and just to share where we are on our journey. So that's where we are for now. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you in the next episode. Thanks everyone for listening today. I hope this episode added value to your candle making journey. Check out the show notes for all the links mentioned throughout today's show, and please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks again for listening. Have a beautiful day.